Hello, welcome back to the Modern Stacker. I've got another constitutional video for us to talk about today. And if you're new to the channel, first off, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and we'll get to chat some more. If you're a regular attendee or if you're just finding this video, either way, hit that like button. It does good things. Great things happen in the world when you hit the like button. So without further ado, let's jump into this topic. I want to talk about my personal strategy around stacking constitutional silver. Now, I think just to cover all the bases, let's just make sure that we're all on the same page about constitutional, what it is and what it isn't. It's 90% silver. Okay, so we call it constitutional. Some people refer to it as junk silver. It's different in the sense that 3 nines and 4 nines fine silver is pure silver, whereas constitutional silver is 90% silver. There's a 10% alloy. I think it's copper that they mix in with it to kind of give it a little bit more toughness, but it was made to carry around in your pocket. You know, it was travel money. And so this is why in my last video, we were talking about how beloved some of the constitutional money is and just the overall quality, as you can kind of see here on the screen. And that's one of the features of constitutional. Most of the constitutional doesn't come looking in brilliant uncirculated condition. Although if you can find that, that is what I would recommend stacking. That's a little bit of a spoiler for the last video, but go check it out. It's good. It's a good conversation. But in this video, what I want to talk about is which size, what denomination or face value should you be stacking. I do have an opinion on this. And if you take Yankee Stacking's prepper stacking model for constitutional, which is what I typically would say is if you're collecting constitutional and you're not doing it for grading purposes, then that's kind of why you have it. You have it so that should you be in an SHTF situation and you needed to use it for bartering, this gives you a very simple way to break it down and you can use it in a barter situation. Now, the reason is because a $1.40 face value is equivalent to 1 ounce of silver. So, in other words, if I take 2 of these $half and 4 of these dimes, that's a $1.40, and that's equivalent to 1 ounce of silver. So, a $1.40 could be technically exchanged for 1 ounce of fine silver. That you could make that argument. You can make that as a barterable argument because that's how much silver is equivalently in $1.40 of constitutional silver. So that's why a lot of stackers will say they like to collect dimes because it allows them to kind of get that 10 cents. You know, the $1.40, you can't get $1.40 out of $1.50 because, you know, you get three half dollars, that's a $1.50, or 6 quarters, that's $1.50. You're basically losing 10-cent profit. I personally think that if you're worried about 10 cents when the apocalypse has happened, you got your priorities in the wrong order. That's just my opinion. Hey, a penny saved is a penny earned, or in this case, a dime saved is a dime earned. But I think that if you'd like me, okay, dimes always get lost in my pocket, and they always go swimming in the washing machine. Like, these coins get lost all the time. So if it were me, these are not my personal favorite to stack. In fact, I hate these. I just never did like the dimes. They're just small to my hands. They always get lost. And then if you've ever tried putting them in those little sleeves, to take back to the bank, the ones that are not silver, like, oh my goodness, it's the worst. I remember having to stack a little side story. I remember having to stack, it was like $15 worth of dimes, like one at a time. And I think it took me about 3 hours to get it all done. And by the time I was done with it, I hated dimes, and I've hated them for life and hated them ever since. So I don't think that's going to change. Anyway, that one was for free. But I definitely prefer larger coins. I don't like to use I don't talk about the Morgans in this video because if you're looking at a Morgan dollar, for example, personally, I think you'd just be better off using a 1 ounce round. I think that's going to go better in a kind of an exchange conversation anyway. That's going to look nicer. It's going to hold more value. But again, if you can't get it done with the smaller denominations, then what's the point? I don't see any reason for holding the Morgan dollars personally. You feel free to disagree with me. Leave it in the comments below. I will like your comment regardless. So, but back to my personal opinion, quarters versus half dollars. So that's where we're at. I'm out with the dimes, not in with the dimes. I have some, but it's between quarters and half dollars. Which do I prefer? Well, to be honest with you, I first started out loving quarters. I thought quarters were the way to go. They're a smaller denomination, 6 of these into $1.40, $1.50 roughly, and I'll just eat the 10 cents versus 3 of these and I'll, eat the 10 cents. But, the problem is I can only get 3 transactions out of this, whereas I can get 6 transactions out of this. So that was where I was going with in my mind, that was where 6 quarters was better than 3 half dollars. But then I bought some half dollars. There was a deal at our local coin shop, and I was able to pick some up on special. And I got to holding them, got to flipping them around. I kind of, felt like an old gangster or something. And something interesting happened. I think, and this is just my opinion, I think that half dollars are the way to go. And the reason I think that half dollars is the way to go, there are 3 reasons. One, they are very easy to hold, and you can put them in your pocket, and they're very easy to keep track of. Okay, they're very easy to hold, they're easy to keep track of. So those 2 real quick together. Easy to hold, easy to keep track of. Like, unlike dimes, hard to hold, very easy to lose. Quarters, not so bad. I think they kind of fit in the same bucket. But the one thing that I found was very unique, that the half dollars did better than the quarters, was it was easier to verify that this was silver than it was for the quarters. Now, I can look at the dates, right? I'm smart about it. I know to look at the dates, and if it's like 365, I'm good. But if you didn't know, or if for any reason somebody starts making counterfeits, okay, how would you know? Well, there's a sound. Silver makes a sound that is very distinct. And I was actually trying to get my camera tripod set up so I could show you and actually kind of flick it and you could hear it. But there's a sound that absolutely, actually, let me see if I can do it. Sit tight, stand by. We're going to do a little test. I don't know if this is going to come through on the speaker or not, but we're going to do a test. And you can tell me which ones you think are silver and which ones are the post 1965 half dollars. Okay, so what I've got, so you can't see it on screen. This is an audio test only. This will be fun. This will be fun to see if anybody actually sticks around for this. But all right, listen to this. Okay, now listen to this. All right, now you can go back and forth on the YouTube channel to listen to which one was which. So I won't do it twice, but which one was silver? The answer was the second one. So if you heard that, there was the second one. I will try to flick it. Okay, we'll see if I can do a flick. Hear that? I don't know if that's going to get there or not. That is the sound of silver. The non-silver has a higher tinny pitch. Try it sometime. If you've got some lying around, try it. It's so easy to detect a fake non-silver coin with half dollars. You can do it with quarters. It's just a little harder. And dimes, it's almost impossible. But then again, one of the benefits of constitutional silver is that not many people were really counterfeiting it because the government mass produced this stuff on a huge scale. So it's not something you really have to worry about. But again, just the fact that it holds really nicely in your hand and you can't really lose it, it's really hard to lose it. And if you do, well, fix the hole in your pocket because, I mean, there's no real reason to lose it. So anyway, that's just my personal take on, what I personally like to stack from a constitutional standpoint. And I believe I rambled on quite a bit in this video, but you get the point. Half dollars, then quarters. dimes. I have got them all, but half dollars are quickly becoming my favorite, and my kids love it. Like I hand them over to my kids, and they're playing with it and jingling it around, and it's addictive. It's fun stuff. So, but let me know in the comments below. What do you like to stack from a constitutional perspective? Or do you like the half dollars? Do you like the quarters? Do you like the dimes? Also, I'm looking at Monument Metals, by the way. Not sponsored by this site or any of these sites, but that I show you. These are just really cool, and this had a really good layout. SD Bullion has some really good stuff. AppMex, also good place to get some constitutional. And yeah, definitely check these websites out. There's a good place to get this stuff, especially if your LCS doesn't have a really good selection, or if they just don't seem to have it in stock very often. But yeah, if you're a prepper stacker, again using Yankees language, this stuff is super fun, and it's historical too. I mean, this is American history right here. So if you have that American bloodedness in you, this is something that I think you'll definitely appreciate, enjoy getting into. Leave some comments in the comment section below about just kind of what your thoughts are on constitutional junksilver, aka junksilver, that kind of stuff. And appreciate you watching this video, and hit the like button on the way out, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, keep on stacking. Cheers.